Next guest is standing by in Washington. Bruce Klingner specializes in Korean affairs with the Heritage Foundation. He was also formerly CIA Deputy Division Chief for Korea. Hi there. Thank you for joining us. These are failed attempts, but still deeply concerning because it speaks to how persistent North Korea is.
Very much so. We've seen a rapid-fire push by North Korea on both its nuclear and missile fronts this year, nuclear test, ICBM test, RV tests, etc. So, North Korean tests, even when they fail, they provide means to move forward. The Taepodong ICBM failed a number of times before the last two times it successfully put a satellite in orbit, demonstrating North Korea has an ICBM technology.
So we've been reporting on this flurry of tests. Why the rush? Why is it because of this Congress coming up, or is there something else?
We'll debate the reasons, but certainly the Kim Jong-un, during his time in power, has really been pushing forward on developing the wide range of missiles that North Korea has been developing for decades. And I think a lot of it is driven by next Friday's Party Congress. The fact that they launched Musudan so shortly after the April 15th failed launch, it shows that the scheduling was taking priority over safety or an insurance of success. They wanted to have something else to brag about at the Party Congress. And if anything, the failure just makes it even more likely North Korea will do another nuclear test before Friday.
That's what I wanted to ask you next. What's your assessment on that? Obviously, the South Koreans are warning of a fifth nuclear test, and also potentially before this Congress next week.
Exactly. I mean, we know North Korea will do another nuclear test. The question is always just the timing. Satellite imagery has shown that the preparations at the known test site, and now we see a decrease in activity indicating that they're pulling the people away and they're ready for it. We won't be able to predict exactly when it'll happen, but we'll certainly know when it happens, and I think it will be before Friday.
So what does the international community do? Already very strict sanctions are in place. It seems like there are not a lot of options on how to deal with this, how to stop this.
Well, there are still steps that the UN and the U.S. can take. There are other measures, closing loopholes, cutting off North Korean export of its resources. The latest UN resolution had seems to have done that, but really the loophole was larger than the ban. But perhaps even more importantly is to have a full implementation of the existing U.S. laws and UN resolutions, and we really have not done that fully. China and the Obama administration have been the two weak links in the implementation.
What do you mean by the two weak links here?
Well, China has tended to enforce resolutions sort of 1 to 4 months after the 2006, 2009, 2013 North Korean nuclear tests, and the Obama administration has not fully used all of the powers that it has. The U.S. Congress recently passed a law making it mandatory for the administration rather than discretionary to enforce some U.S. laws, because on a bipartisan basis they felt that the administration had not been doing so.
Let's talk about the possible consequences here. These actions could be seen as provocations or just an erratic new leader in North Korea. Either way, it's very uncertain. There is the potential for all of this to spiral out of control very quickly. Is that the concern?
It's always a concern on the Korean Peninsula, and what we have is North Korea increasingly demonstrating its nuclear capability to expand and refine its nuclear arsenal, as well as the missile means to eventually, fire them. It's likely that the Nodong medium-range ballistic missile is already nuclear capable, which means Japan and South Korea are under a nuclear threat today, and North Korea is continuing to develop this Musudan intermediate range as well as a road-mobile ICBM.
Okay, so we're talking about the potential for small nuclear warheads on mobile delivery vehicles, a submarine. In your assessment and the assessment of the intelligence community, how likely is it that they'll be deployed? Is this just a threat?
Well, they'll certainly be deployed. We don't think that they would be used in the sense of, launching a nuclear war just because of an erratic North Korea leader. The concern is more that North Korea will use them for coercive diplomacy, as well as to prevent a U.S. response to another North Korean provocation, a tactical level attack. Even before we thought they had nuclear weapons, the U.S. and South Korea never really responded to previous attacks, even when they led to loss of U.S. and South Korean lives.
Bruce, thank you so much for giving us your perspective. Appreciate it.
Thank you.